It wasn't a walk-off home run. It wasn't a final fireworks display. Matt Carpenter's last at-bat in Major League Baseball was quiet, subtle, fitting. He stood in the batter's box at Busch Stadium, a place that had been his baseball home for over a decade. The crowd, always loyal, always watching, rose to their feet. They weren't just applauding a player. They were saluting a memory, a legacy, a man who gave them everything he had. On May 14, 2025, Matt Carpenter announced his retirement from professional baseball. The setting was in a press room or a stadium filled with reporters. It was intimate conversation on the Get in the Game podcast with former teammate Scott Linebrink. No frills. No theatrics. Just a man, his words, and a deep love for the game he devoted his life to. The baseball world took notice. Cardinals fans felt the closing of a chapter that had shaped a generation. And somewhere, in a ballpark in Texas, or a little league field in Missouri, a kid looked up from his glove and learned that greatness doesn't always come with headlines, it can come with humility. To understand Matt Carpenter, you have to go back long before Busch Stadium, long before the All-Star appearances, long before the double plays and the dugout chants. Born November 26, 1985, in Galveston, Texas, Matt was raised in a baseball household. His father, Rick Carpenter, was a legendary high school coach who mentored future stars and crafted elite-level programs. Under Rick's guidance, Matt learned more than just how to swing a bat. He learned about work ethic, about persistence, about doing things the right way, every time. At Texas Christian University, Matt's journey wasn't smooth. He redshirted his freshman year and underwent Tommy John surgery early in his college career, a procedure more common for pitchers than infielders. But rather than fade into the background, he spent his rehab studying the game, learning approach, mastering timing. His breakout senior year would put him on MLB's radar not as a superstar, but as a player to watch. In 2009, the St. Louis Cardinals selected him in the 13th round of the MLB draft. Not exactly the kind of pick expected to change a franchise. But Carpenter had always made a habit of defying expectations. The minor leagues are a crucible, a test of will, patience, and resolve. Carpenter passed all of them. Slowly, methodically, he worked his way up the Cardinals system. Scouts praised his plate discipline, his contact skills, his baseball IQ. He didn't have flashy speed or raw power, but he made every at-bat count. In June 2011, after years of grinding through the ranks, Matt Carpenter made his major league debut. That same year, the Cardinals made a historic playoff run, culminating in a dramatic 7-game victory over the Texas Rangers in the World Series. Carpenter wasn't yet a star on that team, but he was there learning, absorbing, preparing. And by 2013, he was ready. 2013 would become the cornerstone of Matt Carpenter's career. As the team's everyday leadoff hitter, Carpenter led all of Major League Baseball in runs scored, hits, and doubles. He posted a 318 batting average and a staggering 392 on-base percentage. His blend of patience and precision at the plate made him one of the toughest outs in the game. He earned his first All-Star selection, won the Silver Slugger Award, and finished fourth in National League MVP voting, trailing only stars like Andrew McCutchen and Paul Goldschmidt. Fans across the league began to notice the man with the unorthodox pre-pitch routine, elbow tucks, bat taps, and steely focus. It wasn't showy. It was surgical. But more than stats, Carpenter gave the Cardinals an identity. He was the spark at the top of the order, the anchor in the infield, and the heartbeat of the clubhouse. He played every inning like it was October. And for Cardinals fans, that meant everything. Over the next several seasons, Carpenter's role evolved. He moved from second base to third base, then to first, depending on team needs. Wherever he was placed, he produced. Between 2014 and 2018, Carpenter hit a combined 99 home runs, made to more All-Star teams, and continued to rank among the league leaders in walks and on-base percentage. In 2018, he posted a career-high 36 home runs, including an incredible hot streak in July and August that briefly put him in the MVP conversation. There was also the salsa. In 2018, Carpenter credited a homemade batch of salsa with turning around his early season slump. As the home runs poured in, the salsa became legend, sold at Busch Stadium, devoured by fans, and immortalized as part of his lore. But the baseball gods are unrelenting. And by 2019, Carpenter's production began to dip. The swing slowed. The contact quality dropped. For the first time in his career, whispers of decline crept in. From 2019 to 2021, Carpenter struggled mightily. His batting average hovered near the Mendoza line. His power disappeared. By the end of the 2021 season, his future with the Cardinals was uncertain. The team declined his option. After 11 years in St. Louis, it looked like the story might end not with a celebration, but with a quiet exit. But Matt Carpenter wasn't done. In 2022, he signed a minor league deal with the Texas Rangers, his hometown team. But before long, the New York Yankees came calling, and what followed was one of the most stunning comebacks in recent baseball memory. In just 47 games, Carpenter hit 305 with 15 home runs, posting a 1.138 OPS that rivaled the best hitters in the game. Yankees fans, initially indifferent, quickly fell in love with his production, his humility, and his hustle. But in August, an injury derailed a miracle. A fractured foot ended his regular season. Though he returned briefly in the postseason, the momentum had stalled. Still, his rebirth had reminded the world who he was. After a short, unspectacular stint with the San Diego Padres in 2023, Carpenter made one final stop back, where it all began. In 2024, the St. Louis Cardinals brought him back not for numbers, but for legacy. In 59 games, he gave the team and its fans one last chance to share the field, the dugout, the memories. There were no MVP chants, no multi-homer nights. But every time Matt Carpenter stepped into the box, the crowd rose. They weren't cheering the stats, they were honoring the journey. And when the 2024 season ended, so too did one of the most quietly impactful careers of the modern era. Matt Carpenter finishes his career with a 259 batting average, 179 home runs, 659 RBIs, and 1,511 games played. But those numbers, impressive as they are, don't capture the essence of his impact. He was a three-time All-Star, a Silver Slugger winner, and a World Series champion. He led the league in doubles twice. But more importantly, he was the kind of player every fan could believe in. Not because he was perfect, but because he worked like hell to be great. His legacy is etched in the fabric of St. Louis baseball. And while Cooperstown might be out of reach, the Cardinals Hall of Fame is calling. His name will live on alongside the greats Musial, Gibson, Ozzie, Pujols, not just for what he did, but for how he did it. Enters retirement, Carpenter leaves behind a trail of admiration and respect. For teammates, he was a leader. For coaches, a dream. For fans, a symbol of loyalty and excellence. His next chapter remains unwritten, perhaps coaching, broadcasting, or mentoring the next generation of hitters. But wherever he goes, the values that defined his career, work ethic, humility, discipline, will go with him. And in St. Louis, every time a young player grinds out a tough at-bat, battles through a slump, or sprints hard on a ground ball, someone in the crowd will smile and say, "That's how Carpenter used to do it."